Gentleman from Texas is recognized.
I thank my friend from Oklahoma. I rise in support of the legislation before us here today, and I thank the gentleman for his work on this legislation. The fact is, what we just heard from the minority leader in trying to describe this as a so-called extreme MAGA partisan agenda, let's be very clear what we're talking about for the average American. For the average American listening, what the minority leader, what the radical progressive Democratic Party is saying is extreme is a spending freeze into the next year combined with legislation that would guarantee that only American citizens vote in American elections. Let's just be very clear. I think the American people need to know this. What our radical progressive Democratic colleagues deem extreme is a spending freeze combined with only American citizens voting in American elections. That is a really important thing for the American people to know. We're here, yes, because Congress is not getting the job done. But let's be very clear that the United States Senate, which is controlled by majority Democrats, has passed precisely 0 appropriations bills through the body in the Senate. 0. House Representatives in the Republican majority have passed 5 bills. It would be my preference that we pass 12. But we sit here today trying to make a determination on how to proceed. Now, I don't think anyone in this body on either side of the aisle, nor my colleagues or friends around this country, look at me and question whether I would prefer that we cut spending. I would like to cut spending. I don't think we should be funding the agenda that is being driven by Vice President Kamala Harris, President Joe Biden, and my radical progressive Democratic colleagues. I don't believe we should continue to fund a Secret Service that can't protect the former president without reforms. I don't think we should continue to fund at current levels a Department of Homeland Security that leaves our borders wide open so that Laken Riley is killed, so that Rachel Marin is killed, so that Kayla Hamilton is killed, so that Jocelyn Nungare is killed, and her poor 27-year-old mother is left to have to be a witness in a hearing in the House Judiciary Committee talking about the gagging and the raping and the binding and the murdering of her 12-year-old daughter in Houston, Texas. And the ultimate result of all of that is that we now have to wonder whether non-citizens are voting in our elections. And the fact is, we know there are. We have cleaned off rolls in Texas, 6,500, including 2,000 we know voted in elections. In Virginia, 6,300 that were cleaned off, with thousands that were included in the elections. 3,251 in Alabama, 300 in Oregon. We can keep going down the list. So all we're saying is American citizens should vote. That's it. So my Democratic colleagues, they seemingly want non-citizens to vote, and they can't accept a spending freeze as being reasonable. I rise in support of this bill, and to my colleagues on this side of the aisle,
His time has expired.
Additional 30 seconds, Mr. Speaker.
I thank my friend from Oklahoma. I'd like to say a word to my friends on this side of the aisle. A year ago, 21 of my conservative colleagues opposed a continuing resolution that would have cut non-defense, non-veteran, non-homeland spending by 30% for 30 days and included H.R. 2. A lot of those same people are walking away from a piece of legislation that we're putting forward right now. And I'm asking them, stand up with the Republican Party, stand up with President Trump, stand up with the American people to demand that we freeze spending, hold it in check, take the pen away from the radical progressive Democrats and Joe Biden and a lame duck, and let's make sure that only American citizens can vote in American elections. And with that,